solutions and common ground can be found so that together we can forge a new way forward. The Sharpe Way is the way to mutual respect, where no one has to convert to be heard, because you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want, as long as you aren't forcing your beliefs on others. Welcome to Sharpe Way Radio.
Oh, welcome to Sharpe Way Radio. So happy to have you here. WYSL, Rochester, New York. You can call and talk to me if you want to after the first break. 585-346-3000. You know, there's been some tough weather recently across the world, but also across New York State. And it reminded me of something. Those of you who listening may not know that my day job, when I'm not doing cool stuff like this, is I'm actually a business consultant, trainer, executive coach, all those things in the business world. And a few years ago, maybe 5 or so years ago, I was doing a lot of training with New York City agencies. You know, things like department of this, department of that. I don't want to be specific because people who are there will know. So I'm doing one of these trainings. Their leadership training is what I would do, is leadership, those types of things. And when I'm doing one of those trainings, it's with one of those departments that handled some of the damage that was being repaired from Hurricane Sandy. Now, Hurricane Sandy was many years ago. At this time, it was still 6, 7, 8 years out from Sandy, something like that. And they were still trying to get things repaired, fix things, get money to people, and all those things. And I said, well, if someone lost their house or their business, well, it's been 8 years. What happens to them? Well, no, we just try to make things better. And I get that, but they don't have a house. Right, yeah, sometimes you lose the entire house. Okay, right. But how are we fixing it? Well, we've got to go through, and it was just story upon story upon story. Meanwhile, the person who's lost their home has to live with their mom or their dad or their cousin or whatever the case may be, or on their own, or loses everything, waiting for the government to fix it. You might say, I said, wait a minute, Larry, hold on. What do you want the government to do? To fix it? Well, if a government is going to promise to fix it, then yes, right? I mean, I don't want the government to fix it. I'm a libertarian. But if you are going to believe your government, and your government is going to tell you they're going to fix it and tax you to fix it, then yeah, you should get it fixed by the government, right? Again, not my preferred method, but if you're paying taxes to the government to do the thing, and the government promises to do the thing, they should do the thing. Right? It's not crazy. The problem is it doesn't work. And sometimes you wait decades, I'm not joking, for some form of payment, some form of assistance. All these things. And again, we keep finding that government promises, doesn't deliver. And when it doesn't deliver, what do? Oh, we have to give them more money. Why? Well, so they can deliver. But we gave them money already, and they didn't deliver. Right. So we give them more money. So they failed, give them more money. Right. Wait. So we are rewarding them for failure. No. That's not what we're doing. They clearly couldn't get the job done with the amount of money. Okay. Didn't they say up front this was the amount of money and what they would do? Yes. So we should stop them from doing it now. No, we should give them more money. I know you're saying to yourself, is this some kind of comedy skit? No, this is the norm in government to fix things that people tell me is so important. I have heard so many people tell me how critically important this is. Okay, why do you keep giving this task then that is so critically important to the people who keep failing? Literally for decades, not like one shot. Look, I'm human. You're human. You could make a mistake. So could I. I mean, it's rare I make one. I'm kidding. But anyway, the point is, we can all make mistakes. I get it. But if I make a mistake for 40 years in a row, every 2 years, giving you a promise and being wrong for 40 years in a row, at one point, you should probably stop giving me money. I mean, never stop giving me money. But in theory, you should probably stop giving me money at one point. At some point, or at a minimum, I should at least take responsibility for my mistake, tell you where I made the error, and then express how I'm not going to do that again. At a minimum, if I do that, you might go, okay, Larry screwed up. But he recognized he screwed up, taking accountability, going to change it and do something better. Okay, I'll give him another chance. Government does none of that. Government says, no, it's your fault because you didn't give me enough money. That's it. It's your fault. It is the problem of monopoly. When you are monopoly, you are the only game in town. And the goal is to retain this monopoly as long as you possibly can. Because as long as you maintain it, at one point, the population doesn't see any other option. I'm going to give you a story that someone told me years ago. And I'm not saying we should do this, but it's a mindset change. The guy sold insurance. He said, let me tell you a story about the Amish. And we were like, what? He said, yeah, tell you about the Amish. The Amish don't have to buy insurance. What? Why not? Because the Amish have a social contract. If your house burns down in an Amish community, everyone around is going to come on in and help rebuild your house. There's a social contract that you agree to that contract if you live in the Amish community. You don't like that contract, you leave the Amish community. So they have that Rumpspringer, whatever they call it, Amish call it. If you're Amish, please tell me if I'm right. And then you go off and go, hey, I don't agree with this social contract. I'm out. I'm going to go live in the world. And they go, thank you. Good. Have a nice day. If you go, wait, I'm going to agree with this social contract. And if Ezekiel's house burns down, I'm going to go fix it. And if someone burns my house down, Jonathan's coming over and he's going to fix my house. All right, we're good. And that's fine. The problem is most Americans, can't even imagine that. Am I saying that is the answer? I'm not. I'm not against it. Amish, enjoy. Whatever you like, do you. What I'm saying is, in that case, there's not a monopoly. You can choose the Amish social contract, or you can be stuck out here and deal with our agencies. I don't know. Amish starting to look pretty good right now. Anyway, my point being, more choice is the right answer. Private sector, community answers, localized answers could all be answers to solve this problem. But here's the best piece. There are a lot of people who don't agree on the reason why we're having all these floods and all these problems. Okay, I'm fine. Why? What I care about is people losing their livelihoods, whether that's a business, a home, a family home, a park they love, whatever the case may be, due to some type of, in this case, flood in New York State, but other places too, whatever the thing might be, and having an answer to repair it. People often ask me this question, Larry, how in the world can you actually solve anything? We've got this left-right paradigm, blah, 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 people fighting. And I say the same thing. Focus on the outcomes, not the method. Focus on the outcome, not the messenger. Focus on the outcome, not whether it's private, public, community. How do I get the best outcome? And the best outcome is either people not losing their homes, businesses, parks, property, or very quickly it being repaired. Either one of those would work. I prefer the first, obviously, but we can't stop everything. Either of those two. You make that our priority. People will have different answers to get to that point. That's the good thing. If you all get to that point, here's the best part. You will figure out what the actual answer is. Because the people doing the thing to prevent whatever that thing is will see of the 8, 10 people or groups trying to stop it. If one of them succeeds, that was the answer. I don't have to wait for my centralized bureaucracy to dictate what the answer is, which is based upon whoever pays them the most money or provides the most jobs. Now, whether it actually makes sense or not, that's irrelevant. But if I got 8 people trying to solve the same problem, one of them is right, probably, or none of them are right, because then it does get solved. But if it does get solved, okay, she was right. Look what she was talking about. This is obviously the problem. And now if I'm the person who wants my property, my livelihood, my business, my home saved, I listen to her because she's the right one. And I don't care about the propaganda. I don't care about who was right and who was wrong. I care about, do I get my house back after it's trashed? Right now, we own government. That becomes the norm. The only option is become Amish. I don't know. The more I talk, the more it sounds good. But my point being, again, monopoly isn't good. Government is monopoly by default. And when it fails, here's how it's punished. It's not. Nobody gets fired. Nobody gets punished. Nobody gets sanctioned. In fact, they get rewarded. They have an incentive to not make it work. Let me say that again. They have an incentive to not make it work. If it doesn't work, they get more money. If it does work, they don't get more money and may even be disbanded. Why would I want to end my own job? Yeah. And we wonder why it keeps failing. Larry, why are you a libertarian again? Oh, there we go. You think I'm wrong? You can think that. I mean, you're wrong. But if you want to call and tell me, you can. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe, Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL Rochester, New York. Back with your calls and your internet chat after the break.
Introducing a sobering and unavoidable truth. The latest advancements in artificial intelligence have made cyber attacks easier than ever before. Cyber criminals are relentlessly targeting your business right now, seeking the tiniest opening in your defenses to drain your accounts and steal sensitive data. Your finances and your customers' trust are on the line. Call the experts at Simple Tech Innovations now at 585-999-TECH to secure your business today. Don't wait until it's too late. Make the call today. 585-999-TECH.
This is a public alert. On Tuesday,
We have
November
Gene
5th,
from
New Yorkers will vote on
Pittsburgh.
a proposal to amend the New York State Constitution. They're calling
You're
it
welcome.
the Equal Rights Amendment. Don't be fooled. It's anything but. This radical plan would change New York
Just
as we know
confirming,
it. It
she
could
said
completely
Pittsburgh, not
erase girls'
Pittsburgh.
sports,
Thanks.
empower the government over parents, further stripping away parental rights, and threaten senior discounts in housing. We must vote no on Prop 1. Learn more at protectkidsny.com. That's protectkidsny.com. Paid for by the Coalition to Protect Kids NY.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Hey, Larry Sharpe here. Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. 585-346-3000. So happy to have you here for a little chunk of your day. We've been talking about government as a monopoly, trying to fix things and solve these problems with our environment and the flood and the floods here in New York State. Let me grab a call if I could. This is Gene from Pittsburgh. How are you? Did I get you? Are you there?
I think we lost her.
We lost Gene. Okay, no worries. I have tons of people here that I want to talk to who are actually, the chat is exploding, and I appreciate that. all the time you guys popped it up. John says, kind of similar to a private buyer buying products for my work. Their budget was 250 billion. They racked up 750 billion and were forced to scale down. Better accountability is key. You know, you bring up a very valid point. If I'm a private business and I have a budget of $250 billion and I want to spend more, I have to validate that spending either with myself if I'm the boss or with my boss if I'm not the boss. I have to somehow validate it. I'm going to say, hey, boss, you said that it's 250. I need 350. Here is my logic why. And the boss goes, yes or no. The boss says, no, I got 250. That's it. You're exactly right. It's accountability. But if I'm government, in fact, let me go one step further, John. If my budget's 250 and I can get it done for 240 and still get the right outcome, the boss goes, you're amazing. Thank you. I might get promoted. I might get something, whatever the case may be. I'm doing my job well. I might get picked up by the competition because they see how good I am. Who knows? Whatever. But again, my incentive is to be at the budget or under, right? And to get the job done, the outcome that the boss wants. But if it's government, the goal is, and some of you will just want to fall out of the chair when I tell you this, the goal is to spend the money. Now, some of you are like, what? If you've worked in government, you know I'm not joking. The goal is to spend the money. If you don't spend the money, you will get less money next time. That's how government works. If you don't spend it, you get less next time. You get a smaller budget, so you can't do as much. You can't get a raise. So you must spend the money. So if I go to John's company as government contractor, and I say, hey, as a government, not contractor, government, and I say, hey, my budget's 250, and John says, I can get it done for 200. I go, why? Don't do that. What are you talking about? Don't do that. 250, take it. What are you doing? Take it. I got to spend this money. And if you work with government reps, you know, that literally happens. They go, don't give me a discount. Don't do that. No. Max, if I can just a bit more so I can go back and ask for some more. That's how they actually work. He is completely right. There is no reason to save money. You save money? Yeah. That's not going to happen. Yes. So thank you for that, John. Mike says, Larry, the error, is that the green movement is a scam. Does not achieve the stated goals. Well, this is the point. To be forward, I don't know if it is. I know lots of people believe it. Some people don't. Whatever. I actually don't care. And that may sound crazy. If it's a scam, great. If it's not, great. All I care about is people don't lose their property. And that is my point earlier, right? If we allow other people to do all the things they want, eventually we'll figure out whether it's a scam or not, because the people who are making the people who are actually solving the problem, if at the root, we will find what the root is. And then if it's a scam, we'll find it out. And if it's not, it's not. So the error isn't that it's a scam. The error is that government controls it. Therefore, to John's point, there's no accountability. There's no transparency. So to find out if it is a scam, we've got to go through like websites and stuff versus just the government telling us, right? Because there's no accountability, no transparency. So whether it's a scam or not, I don't care. I want people to not lose their property. I would like people to not be flooded out. However you fix that, do that. And we can't find out when a monopoly it's in their best interest to fail. So let me walk down this road then, I guess, Mike. You've opened up, now you've made me rethink this for a second. If it is a scam, then government should jump on it because then they can never solve it and keep making money. So perhaps you are correct, but not because of the reason, right? You're doing chicken and egg and I'm doing opposite chicken and egg. I'm saying they don't want to solve it. So they would want it to be one. In fact, they might even make it. Or you know what? No, they can't make it. Government's too incompetent for that. They would see something and pick it up and go, oh, that can never be fixed. Let's take that. That's how they would do it. I don't believe they can actually make it. They could see it lying on the floor and pick it up. That's what I would say. Yes. So Pinkerbell says they don't have to pay Social Security tax either. That's Amish. Oh, I didn't know that. Makes sense, though. She goes on to say because they don't take Social Security. But again, my point is, and I'm not pro or anti-Amish. You do you as always. The point to bring it up is they have found an answer that works for them. And we should allow people to find answers that work for them. If you believe the Amish lifestyle is right for you, you should go enjoy it. I completely agree. But why can't we take this, Peekabell, to other aspects? Why can't we allow local communities to have their own types of mutual aid funds, where if you live in a community for X years, you're able to draw on that with people you vote on, money you give in voluntarily, all those things. There's tons of things you could do. But this is my earlier point. If you spend decades looking at the only answer being a government agency, then why would you even imagine a local mutual aid fund? That's like, what? I haven't seen that. And for those who don't know, mutual aid funds used to be massive, and usually, more often it was for immigrant communities, because you'd have a bunch of, say, maybe in Wisconsin, a bunch of Norwegians would come into Wisconsin. How do you support all these new Norwegians? Well, you would have a mutual aid fund, right? People would put in money to support fellow Norwegians who are coming in, and that's how you would support them. You'd get them up and running so they could have an apartment and start working. Don't get me wrong. There was also some exploitation there too. There was. But at a minimum, it was voluntary and you could escape the exploitation. But when the government puts you into a series of dependence, you almost never escape it. It is made to keep you dependent. The mutual aid fund is made to exploit you up front. I know I'm laughing, but it's kind of funny in a way because it was. However, you would then get out of that, and then you would fund the mutual aid fund for the next group of people that you could exploit for a couple of years, and then would keep going. It was almost in a way like an indentured servitude for a couple of years. Now, you may not disagree with that. That's fine. You may disagree with that. That's fine. But it was all voluntary. So if you don't like it, don't join it. You think it's wrong, don't do it. But you could. And I think this type is probably not a bad idea. John says, Larry, if anyone was Amish, they wouldn't be listening. Good point. So I guess I can insult the Amish on this show? I will not, but I guess I could because they won't be listening anyway. Another good point. I think you got me on that one. Very good. That's good. So Sam says, I live near the flood area where the water rose. It wasn't the government that helped people. It was neighbors with boats. If you're waiting for a government savior, don't hold your breath. And this is the point, Sam. There's a few people, not enough people, who think the way you do. The most important piece here would be that type of thing should be expected. Why? Because an individual would buy boats because they want to have this to save their people and the people who they care about and the communities they care about. But if we're just waiting on government, how does a government in Albany or in New York City know what you need in your local area? I wouldn't know. How would I know what kind of boat, how many boats? I have no idea. I live in New York City. I don't know. But the people in your area do know. You've heard me talk about localization a gazillion times. Why? Things just like this. The people in your area, they know what's best because they go through it. What kind of boat? How many boats? Why aren't we supporting local people doing things like that? The worst, we'll wind up suing them for not having the right kind of boat. That's what we'll probably do, Sam. Oh my God, it's crazy. All right, tell me what you think. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe, WYSL Rochester, New York. Sharpe Way Radio. Back with your calls and the internet chat after the break.
Yeah, the caller apparently had phone issues because she had tried calling before she reached me and there was no sound coming.
Rochester's most powerful AM station.
WYSL.
27,000 watt AM 1040, FM 92.1, FM 95.5.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight. Mostly cloudy, scattered showers, temps in the 50s. On Wednesday, we'll see sun and clouds, a few showers in the afternoon, still breezy and cool near 70. Nicer on Thursday. We'll see sunshine, a few fair weather clouds, low to mid 70s, closer to 80 on Friday, with some nice weather and warmer weather heading into the weekend. I'm Rich Canilia, WYSL.
Summer adventures, savings, and selection are yours when you shop Victor Chevrolet. Lease a 2024 Chevy Trailblazer LT for just $199 a month for 27 months. If you need a pickup, get the versatility of a 2024 Chevy Silverado LT Crew Cab, just $339 a month for 27 months. A 24 Chevy Equinox all-wheel drive LT, only $249 a month for 27 months. $2,500 cash or trade equity at closing with all leases. All factory rebates, incentives, and discounts are applied. Security deposit is waived. Includes returning lessee rebate. 10,000 mile allowance per year. 25 cents each additional mile. Must have lease and household. Tier 1 credit approval required. Lessee responsible for repair and maintenance. Conditions apply. Get details at dealer. Victor Chevrolet has an unbeatable used selection too. Whatever the make, trust your vehicle to our Chevy Certified Service Department. Come see how easy it is to do business with us. Together, let's drive at Victor Chevrolet, Route 96 in Victor. Visit victorchevrolet.com.
Register and vote. Get a friend or neighbor to do the same. The voice of liberty. The WYSL stations.
Have you been looking for a good reason to finally switch from oil heat to something that's safer, more reliable, and costs less? As if those reasons weren't enough, Turnbull Heating and Air is extending an amazing offer. If you currently use fuel oil for heat, schedule a free visit before August 31st and get $1,000 towards your new and improved heating system. With Turnbull's investment and all the rebates currently still available, there's never been a better time to make the move. Call 585-501-9100 or visit turnbullheating.com today.
24/7 we'll be there. You'll be comfortable with the best. Turnbull Heating and Air.
Introducing a sobering and unavoidable truth. The latest advancements in artificial intelligence have made cyber attacks easier than ever before. Cyber criminals are relentlessly targeting your business right now, seeking the tiniest opening in your defenses to drain your accounts and steal sensitive data. Your finances and your customers' trust are on the line. Call the experts at Simple Tech Innovations now at 585-999-TECH to secure your business today. Don't wait until it's too late. Make the call today. 585-999-TECH.
Now's the time to dress up your home during Lima Carpet and Flooring's summer blowout sale. Save up to 50% on in-stock carpet remnants. Great savings on luxury vinyl plank and laminate flooring. Free pad upgrade on installed carpeting. Lima Carpet and Flooring's own installers will do it right, guaranteed. Plus kitchen, bath design, and remodeling. Browse Lima Carpet's Flooring Galleries, Route 15 Avon, just north of 390 Exit 9.
At Lima Carpet, your hometown flooring store.
Live harness racing has returned to Batavia Downs for the summer of 2024. Sponsored by Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center. Join us inside our clubhouse or watch the great harness racing trackside. Make a night of it by staying in our beautiful hotel. Plan your summer fun by checking out the full schedule at all of our events and hotel deals on BataviaDownsGaming.com. Dine, play, and stay at Batavia Downs. Your stuff deserves a better home. That's why you need a store with confidence at Hidden Treasures Self-Storage in Farmington. Units are safe and secure in a variety of sizes. At Hidden Treasures, there are no locks, no keys, no combinations. Bluetooth locks are controlled by your cell phone. Get 50% off your first month. Convenient to everywhere on Loomis Road in Farmington. Close to the Thruway. Get peace of mind when you stow your stuff at Hidden Treasures Self-Storage.
Patchwork Saddlery in Avon fits Western saddles as well as English saddles.
Okay, we
The
got that
styles and
Jean
construction
back,
is
so
different,
she
but
says
the
she can hear
importance
us
of fitting
now.
the horse and rider isn't. Whether you're a trail rider, a barrel racer, or a roper, your horse can't give you his best if his saddle is hurting him. Patchwork Saddlery's fitter can give you the peace of mind that your saddle is good for both of you, or the insight to select one that would work better. Put your money where your heart is. Shop locally at Patchwork Saddlery, East Main Street, Avon.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL Rochester, New York. 585-346-3000 is the number if you want to reach out. And I have a call I want to grab if I could. We're going to try this again. Gene from Pittsburgh.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, my God, we have you. So good. Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, let's talk about health care.
Okay.
My husband, we lost our health care because of the lockdown.
Okay.
So then we had to go to the government health care, and now my husband got a new job. He should be able to be on his employer's health care, but we can't get off of the other thing.
Well, of course not, because they got to make sure that they're spending the money. That's the point. The point isn't to make sure you have good health care or not. The point is to spend the money.
Yeah. And they charge us extra every year in our tax. Instead of getting a tax refund like we should have last year, we ended up owing them like $1,600 or something. And this year it's going to be another $1,000 more because we couldn't get off.
Wow.
It's so infuriating.
So they are making sure that they're spending all the money and then taxing you more. I like that.
Yes.
Wow. That is crazy.
I don't like it.
That's crazy. Thank you, Gene, for the call. I appreciate it.
Okay.
So this goes back to what I was talking about. Right? There should be an easy way for Gene to get off of one and back on the other, right? If the goal was to make sure she had health care, if that was the goal, it's not. The goal is to spend the money. So when she came in saying, oh, lockdowns happened, now I've lost my health care, government, can you give me health care? The bureaucrat there went, yeah, literally why I'm here. 100%, literally why I'm here. So, yes. And now she's like, oh, can I get off? Well, no. Well, then we can't keep spending money. Then we can't say how many people need us. See, all these people need us. That's why we have to keep doing this. That's the entire point. Gene, thank you so much for that call. I appreciate that. Yes. So Rich says, government holds a monopoly on the use of force within a geographical area. With that monopoly, they're beholden to no one. They can act and fail without repercussions. I wish you were wrong, Rich, but you are right. This is why, when I was running, I spent my time focusing on one idea, and that is the state government should focus on one thing, and that focus should be protecting the rights of New York State citizens from local bullies. Because there will always be local bullies. The local mayor or city council or whatever who's going to try to take your home or push you out of the way or double your taxes or whatever the thing is, or put their bike lane in your street or whatever. That's always going to happen. The state government's number one job should be to protect the rights of the New York State citizen against local bullies. It doesn't mean it's the only thing it should do. That should be the number one focus. That's not, though. Our current leader, Her Majesty, Her Grace, Queen Kathy, first of her name, destroyer of the middle class, banisher of conservatives, punisher of the entrepreneurs, all hail. She has said that the number one issue is keeping all New Yorkers safe. I'm not joking. She said that more than once. That is the number one job she has. I don't know how she decided that. I don't know why she decided that, but it's true. Now, she's doing a terrible job of it, but that's her number one job. And when your job, number one job, is keeping New Yorkers safe, you will lock them down and you will create more jobs that won't do anything but except pay people some more money so that the government controls more and more and more. So that our GDP is 50% government. That's what she's going to do. Instead of focusing on making sure people don't lose their property, they don't lose their families, they don't lose their lives. Rights is what government is supposed to protect, but they're not. That is my problem. So, all right, thank you for that, by the way. All righty. Valerie says, Lawville, so I pronounce Lawville, in the foothills of the Adirondacks got flooded again yesterday. Yes, it keeps, well then, who's supposed to take care of that? Oh, isn't that a government agency? That is, isn't it? And it's not working, is it? My exact point. Yes, absolutely. Joseph says, New York State Assemblyman Angelo Santabarbara wants to have one-time car registration where there is no renewal. What do you think about that? Well, if you do that, then how are they going to make money, Joe? Think about that. Think about that. How's the government going to make money if it can't keep making you do this? Huh? See how selfish you are? Joseph, why are you so selfish? Obviously, I'm teasing you, Joseph. I actually don't know. It's a good question. Is the registration because of the inspection? Getting your car inspected every couple of years? I don't know. If you change that, the issue is if you change that, you'd probably follow the South Carolina model. In South Carolina, they do something similar, but they instead tax the car every year. So if we lost registration, they'd probably add taxation. So are you getting rid of both? And then what's the issue if your car is not road ready? Do we not care? Is that a ticket? You'd have to give me more on that one. I'm not against the idea, but you'd have to give me more on what the next steps are. I always worry if they're going to remove something, what are they adding, right? So how do you make that work? So I'm not conceptually against it, but I think I'd have to know what the right answer is. Patty asked, if I take a loan out to fix something and came back to the bank needing more money to fix the same thing, that's the original money out for, they'd ask, what did I do with the last loan? They'd laugh at me. Patty, yes, that's correct. But here's the issue. In this case, you're back in the bank. You're the government. So you're making sure the bank has lots of money. You're making sure it's safe. You're bailing it out. So if I'm bailing the bank out and I go, can I have some money? They go, yeah, take some more. We don't care why. You're going to bail us out anyway. Take how much you want. 1 billion, 2 billion? What do you want? You're gonna pay us back one way or the other. You're either gonna give us the money, you're gonna give us special favors, or you're gonna bail us out. Take all the money. So I think that's the minor difference in your story, is that in your case, you're not backing the bank and bailing them out when they make an error. If you're bailing the bank out, take all the money. I don't care how much. I'm getting paid. And if something goes wrong, you'll even take the blame, which is none. You'll just blame like the system or something. So yes, I think that's the minor difference in that. So yeah, 100%. So Gene says, I had a passenger this morning who said that New York is letting illegal immigrants vote. Is that accurate? Also, I think I need a phone. Okay, this is the same Gene. All right, two things. There was a movement to let all migrants vote regardless of their status. There was a movement for that. Now, here's the issue with that, so people are aware. Right now, you can't do that for federal elections. There's no precedent for it. It's against the law. You cannot do it. In theory, could a state allow it for local elections? Theoretically, yes. There hasn't been an attack on this yet, but they tried doing it in New York City. The movement has died down, but it may come back up. The concept was New York City could allow migrants of any status, doesn't matter, to vote in city elections. When I say of any status, green card, right now green card holders obviously can't vote, but it wouldn't matter. Green card, migrant, asylum seeker, illegal alien, whatever, undocumented, whatever word you want to use, the movement was to let any migrant, no matter what, vote in New York City elections. That has gone away, but it's not completely gone. They're trying to bring it back up again and again and again. New York City actually does it issues New York City ID cards, which are good for New York City. So he's right and he's wrong. They're not letting migrants vote. Migrants right now cannot vote unless they're citizens. Then they're not migrants in theory anymore. So migrants cannot vote. There was a movement in New York City to change that for local elections, not federal. It did kind of die out, but it still exists. It might still happen. So I hope that's clear at least. They're not letting, but it's still there, if that makes any sense. So yeah. All right. John goes on to talk about Michael's point about the Green Movement. He says the Green Movement doesn't have to be a scam. Feels like one because of the quick abandonment of oil and natural gas. And that's my point, John. I agree with you. I don't care if it's a scam or not. Fix the problem. If it's a scam, awesome. We'll figure it out by trying to fix the problem. If it's not, then we'll know that too by fixing the problem. If we focus not on the method, if we focus on fixing the problem and having a good outcome, focus on the outcome, we will figure it out one way or the other. I know people get mad at me when I take a stance on this. I just don't care. I want people to not have their homes flooded out. If whatever that takes, let's work on that, right? That's the piece. I really want that to happen. So thank you, John. Valerie says, hey, Larry, I heard last week there are many Amish signing up to vote. Yes, Amish can vote, 100%. Amish can vote. They're citizens. Why shouldn't they get a chance to vote? Now, if they don't want to vote, that's fine. Up to them. Voting is a right, not a requirement. I mean, I wish more people would vote. I hope people will vote. And to be forward, when I say that, I don't mean that just to vote for me or people that I like. Obviously, I want you to vote for me and people that I like, obviously. But I also want you to vote, because if you don't vote, you're checked out. I need people to not be checked out. I would actually rather you vote for someone I don't like or don't want than not vote. Why? I can't turn you to vote for the person that I want you to vote for if you're checked out. So be involved, vote. Hopefully, eventually, you'll do as I want you to do. I hope you will. But you got to be checked in first. That's the key. So yes. So, anyway, we should all vote if we can. It does matter. I do want us to figure this stuff out. Am I crazy? Should you not vote if you don't vote for me? No, you should vote either way. Larry Sharpe, Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL Rochester, New York, 585-346-3000 is the number. I'll be back with your calls and your internet chat after the break.
Introducing a sobering and unavoidable truth. The latest advancements in artificial intelligence have made cyber attacks easier than ever before. Cyber criminals are relentlessly targeting your business right now, seeking the tiniest opening in your defenses to drain your accounts and steal sensitive data. Your finances and your customers' trust are on the line. Call the experts at Simple Tech Innovations now at 585-999-TECH to secure your business today. Don't wait until it's too late. Make the call today. 585-999-TECH.
Baseball, hot dogs, and the American flag. They're all part of the rich fabric that makes our country great. Show your American spirit by purchasing your flag from the Stars and Stripes Flag Store today. When you do, you're supporting critically needed services for local veterans at the Veterans Outreach Center. Let's show our veterans that we care by placing our nation's symbol on the porch of every house in our community. The Stars and Stripes Flag Store, 783 South Avenue, Rochester, or visit eflagstore.com.
Avon Gun and Hunting Supply, a locally owned and operated gun shop here for your hunting needs. With changes in New York State laws, they'll work with you to fulfill your needs. Open from 10 a.m. Tuesday through Saturday, Avon Gun, East Main Street, next to Tompkins Community Bank.
Livingston County Pizza Company and Gluten Free Bakery has a great deal on Tuesdays. A large 4-topping pizza for $18, regular or gluten-free. Call 226-9575. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Livingston County Pizza Company and Gluten Free Bakery in Avon.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
It is Larry Sharpe. So happy you're giving me a small chunk of your afternoon. Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL in Rochester, New York. You know, we've been chatting about the idea of us trying to push forward without a monopoly, get things done without government having to be in the way. People often think I'm trying to now end the government. I'm not. Would it be amazing if we could have a world without government? If that'd be amazing, but I don't see that happening in the near future at all. But what I'd like to do is try my best to break the monopoly of government, meaning allowing for communities to solve problems. And here's what people don't understand. They say, well, Larry, we don't need that because we have government, or the community is government. Okay, two parts. One, the community is no longer government. Maybe at one point it was. I don't know. I don't remember it being that way. But right now it's run by two parties whose leadership decides who will be your king or queen. Our vote almost never matters. I mean, sometimes, but very rarely. Usually we have no democracy. And there's no repercussions when government fails. So the community is not the government. The government is our aristocracy that feeds off of us. So with that in mind, it isn't that easy. Second piece, whenever you add government, you by default remove community. And when someone's in trouble, whatever that trouble is, whether that is financial trouble, medical trouble, whatever, addiction problem, whatever, the first thing they need, the first thing is not a program or even money. That's not the first thing. The first thing is somebody who cares. Then they can get them to the right place or the right thing or the right idea or the right people. Government cannot care. Community can. More community equals less government. People have problems. They fall down. They make mistakes. They are unlucky. They need help. I'm not saying we shouldn't help them. I'm saying let's allow community to step in. It will be more effective when it does step in. It won't be perfect. Government's not perfect either. I'm saying it will be better and give us options. Let me grab a call if I could. I'm going to grab Roger. How are you, sir?
All right. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right. So let me read this. New York Constitution, Article 2, Suffrage, Section 1, Qualifications of Voters, Universal Citation. Every citizen shall be entitled to vote at every election for all officers elected by the people and upon all questions submitted to the vote of the people, provided that such citizen is 18 years of age or over and shall have been a resident of the state and of the county, city, or village for 30 days next preceding an election. So I just wanted to get that out of the way.
No, I like that. That's what I'm saying. There is nothing federal. You can't do it federally. The state would have to make a specific change or shift. In New York City, people believe they could do it just in the city, and they couldn't, to your point, because the New York State Constitution says no. But they still haven't given up on it yet. There is still a chance that people are going to try to pass a special law to carve out New York City as an exception. But that has not happened so far.
Well, they would have to do a constitutional amendment then. But anyway,
yes.
And which means they would have to put it before us to vote on.
Yep.
Also, what you said about having to spend all the money which the government gives you, like as a business or whatever, I can attest and concur to that, because when I worked in information technology and we had contracts with schools, public schools, that's what one of my managers told me, where it'd be like, well, they got to spend the money, so, and whatever. Now, the other thing that she was talking about, the problem of why government is not getting it right is because we don't control government. Until we expand so-called democracy, and I call it so-called, through
I agree with you on that.
The direct democracy in government, then this will continue. Also, you made arguments against the grifting that goes on in these public-private partnership contractual agreements. But then, at the same time, you speak about when the government does it, then by themselves, the problems never get solved. So obviously, you wish to privatize all things public. However, Always know.
No. That's literally not. I literally just said it just a couple minutes ago. I'm not about that. I'm about creating competition between the two.
So just to say, always know that the things that are essential to our lives, if given over to private industry, understand this. Okay, this might not be for you, but just anyone, just me saying this. But if given over to private industry, understand they never fix the problem either, because there's more money in treating symptoms than there are with coming up with permanent cures and one-time vaccines. Whether I'm talking this figuratively or what's literally. You feel what I'm saying? If you
yes and no. I think both, right? If the people get to decide which one they want in this competition, I think you can, because here's the issue. Someone's going to want to make money on it, right? So if I have multiple options, I'll have an option that's a better option than one that's not. And the famous option was the VHS versus beta tapes back in the 70s and 80s. Most people who knew the difference preferred the Betamax, whatever it was like that, right? But people went with VHS because they thought it was more convenient. The market decided. Then people went to DVDs or CDs. People just moved on it. Now they go to Blu-ray or whatever the case may be. I think you can find an answer, right? If you want to, you can buy the DVD if you want to. If you don't want to, you can rent it off Netflix. So I think that when you give more opportunity, people do make different decisions. Some people prefer the just treat the symptom, I'll take the monthly fee. And some people say, no, cure the issue. And I think you will get both. Am I wrong on this?
So the best option, or the best more choices, or whatever, however you want to put it, the best one is when we get to place our own amendments on the ballot and we
100%.
decide. You know, I'm always going to push that. I don't just push that.
And I'm never going to stop you. I'm never going to stop you. I'm with you 100%.
To the rest of the audience, to make them understand.
And my point here being, and this is why I'll bring this up, right? The most important piece here is, I honestly believe that more democracy, while sometimes will still fail, it is not perfect, it is better than authoritarian. I will take more democracy, even when it fails, better than autocracy any day of the week.
Yep.
And so I'm with you. I'm also with more choices, even though people will make bad choices. People will make mistakes. We are human. I get it, but I would rather have more choices so that I can watch and go, oh, Patty made that decision. John made that decision. Which one do I prefer? You know what? That's a better one for me. And I give it a shot. Versus government says, here's your choice. Good luck.
You mean like, here's your choice with Kamala Harris?
Correct. Exactly right. Thank you, my friend. Rod, thanks for the call. Yes, I'm going to say, as I always say, no system is perfect. People will make mistakes. But more democracy and more choice overall is always going to be better. Thank you for giving me a chunk of the afternoon, everybody. I will see you all very soon.